Welcome back to episode 4 of the Switchin It Up Podcast. Surprised we made it this far. I'm your host, Tarris, and today we have a special guest on board, a political reverend, threat-giving, constitutional-carrying, our first guest on the podcast and the only person I know banned from Kansas. Thank God we're not in Kansas anymore. Bo Rupert.
Can I also add that he's forklift certified?
Forklift certified.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah.
That's something I actually meant to say in the intro, but yeah. A lot of lives this guy's lived already. And we got TJ.
Yeah, I'm here. Whatever.
whatever.
I'm
Who
more
gives a-
excited for Bo than myself, honestly.
Yeah, no bullshit.
Bo, we're gonna play a game.
Okay.
So we're not gonna tell anybody your age.
Okay.
So we're gonna let everybody guess your age by everything that you tell us here today
Yeah.
and everything that you've been through. And I want them to guess what stage of life you're in right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody, Bo, take your glasses off one time. And everybody guesses age. Wait, here, I have haircuts on here, Bo. While you're at it, if you just want to take the hat off. If you want to show everybody a haircut.
I love the haircut.
Okay.
That's a flat top. Been rocking
It's-
one since the 4th grade.
Yeah, I mean, you look like you're in the military.
Can't go wrong with a flat top.
Well,
You
it was a
You
mullet
definitely
before
can,
that.
but it's
and
okay.
I'm just
Sorry.
not a mullet kind of guy. You got to look presentable.
Where do you get your haircut at, though? Because we were talking about this earlier, and I was like, save it for the... And we talked so many conversations, by the way, guys. I've talked, and it was save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast.
I think the problem is Bo is just such an interesting person
I mean,
that like he starts a conversation is like, holy fuck, like we got to get this on documentation because
oh, yeah.
this is money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, these conversations he starts with, grabs you in every time. So let's start about, we have a different setup, obviously, because we have a guest here. And we're in, I forgot to even say where we're at. We're in front of an abandoned building with like graffiti, boarded up walls. Looks like somewhere you would survive probably in a zombie apocalypse. Not 100% where we are, but
By a big road, I'll tell you that, brother.
we are right next to the road. I forgot to mention that.
Drivers, start your engines.
Yes, sir.
No, so I do. So I have a chair. I'm not on the fucking couch today. I have the chair. I decided to give Bo my spot because he's taking over.
What
I
a
think.
nice lad you are.
Yeah, Bo, do you think you could run a podcast if you tried?
You know, that is actually the goal eventually. I am planning to start one. I've just never had the opportunity yet to invest in all the equipment and the time and to go through naming it and putting it together. But it has been a thought. It has been a goal. It's a distant goal, I would say, at the moment.
If at this current moment I would compare Bo to any podcast that I've seen, it would have to be Theo Von.
Yo, yeah, it's got to be. Oh, my God.
Theophone.
I mean, and the thing is, like, you and Theo Von are Theo Von's probably like 65 now. You guys are probably the same age. That guy looks old. No, you guys are like the same kind of person, though,
Yeah.
for sure. So can I go back to the haircut here?
yeah.
So
yeah, yeah,
where's
yeah.
you got your haircut recently, it looks like.
Yep, yep.
Where did you get it cut at?
So Central Avenue Barber and Styling in Knightsville. Really nice old lady that about 60, 65 years old that cuts hair in there. Great lady.
So a 65-year-old lady?
Yeah, you go in there, you got this kind of old grandma lady that cuts your hair and just does a wonderful job. And you know,
Is
it's
she black?
no, she's white, and it's it's not just a barber shop. It's kind of a rummage / garage sale type thrift store type
See that?
environment.
I got a proposition for you, brother.
Okay.
This video gets 100 likes. I'll go get a haircut with Bo.
You know, I'm just going to be real. I've tried a couple of black barbershops in Somerville, and have tried to have them 2 different ones cut a flat top now. I've had no luck.
But you know what, man? I think what it is, too, is a lot of it is just cultural. Like,
Right.
yeah, you'll go into a black barbershop, but all they're used to cutting is, like, black people hair almost.
Yeah.
And so they get comfortable with it. It's not like they can't.
For the
But-
African American community, the flat top probably hasn't been in style since early 90s, late 80s. So it's not really a popular thing in their
Who wa-
culture.
Who do you think was the last relevant celebrity to be able to successfully pull off a flat top?
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon?
Kevin Bacon.
I mean, yeah. Yeah,
Tom
fair enough.
Cruise. Tom Cruise.
I was thinking African American. I was thinking like African American variety.
Wesley Snipes probably.
Don't even know who that is.
How do you not know who Wesley
I probably
Snipes
do.
is?
If I saw,
What the fuck?
listen, name a movie he's in.
U.S. Marshals. Blade.
I've seen Blade.
That's Wesley Snipes.
Okay, I know Wesley Snipes.
I think that's when he had a flat top, actually. kinda.
Yeah.
My lawyer, William J. Hamilton III, he runs, and yeah, he's actually my lawyer.
That's Stuart Little's government name, brother.
Yeah. So he's probably the only lawyer in Charleston that takes the public transit anywhere. And he's fought very, very hard for public transit and for CARTA. A lot of people will say that he's responsible for getting the CARTA out to Folly Beach, out to Mount Pleasant, and currently we're having one heck of a fight on our hands with the local establishment getting the CARTA to officially run into downtown Somerville. And they claim to represent all three counties. It's the Council of Governments, but yet they leave the entire citizenry of Dorchester County on foot. And I don't think that's right. But I've been fighting for the transit, sort of a newer cause I've taken up. But yeah.
But the thing that I respect most about it, Bo, is you're not like a type to like, oh, this is wrong with our system and just critique everything. You're the one to take action. And I'm not going to say with 100% certainty I agree with you on everything, but I can still respect that you still go out and fight for what you believe.
Yeah.
Well, if you feel strongly about something, you got to be the one to show up, because nobody's going to show up for you. No one's gonna go complain for you that you were done wrong. I mean, you might get lucky once in a great while, but you got to show up yourself and take on these issues. You can't just let someone do it, or wait till someone does it and then Sometimes you got to be the one to carry the burden, if you will, to be the one to go, you know what, I don't like what the establishment is doing today, and by God, they're going to know about it. And so that's the way I am.
Can I ask what led you to get into I don't even know what the word is.
Activism?
Activism, there it is.
Yes. And that takes us back. That takes us back to about me being, I believe, about 11 years old. I hadn't quite turned 12 yet.
We'll believe that. You're not supposed to say your age, Bo.
Oh, damn it.
It's
Giveaway.
okay. I'll cut that out.
We'll cut it out.
I'll cut it out.
But yeah,
So
12 years old.
11 and a half, 12 years old, I ended up in foster care. And I did 9.5 years in foster care in the state of Washington. I saw so many kids that did not have a voice, that could not speak. I saw this happen with everybody. If the cops or a judge said something, by God, it was the gospel, and don't you question it because they're in charge. And by God, if you do, you will be in trouble. And I absolutely despised people like that. I absolutely just absolutely hated people like that. And too many government officials are like that. You were just absolutely wrong if you question them. So I'm not going to lie. I was a troubled youth. I'd run away from places. I'd end up in...
Could we argue that that's just most authority in general, though?
Not most. Just ridiculous authority that just makes, like code enforcement. Do we really need to be giving people tickets for not mowing their yard?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that if
Is
they
that
don't...
a thing?
Yeah, it's kind of like HOA, but for bigger cities, I guess, right?
Yeah, and here's my thing. If you don't want to have a nice, cleaned up yard, that's your prerogative if you want everybody driving by making fun of your yard. That's about the extent that should go to.
Right.
The government should not show up and say, you owe us $150. The price is right. Come on down and pay us. You didn't pay. Am I allowed to promote products on the channel?
What are you promoting?
All right, everybody.
No,
I want you to go on.
We're not promoting your cigarettes, Bo.
Okay.
Hey, man, say whatever you want to say.
I just want to tell
not the
everybody,
specific brand.
Marlboro Southern Cuts.
Okay.
Oh my God, Bo.
Man, Bo, you have an old spirit. That's for sure.
Dude, for sure. Whenever I first realized your age, I genuinely didn't believe it. One, because of the way I don't typically see someone like your age involved.
Fucking look at him,
Yeah,
dude.
but involved in activism like that, and the shit that you've already done and fought for and been through is fucking crazy.
And the fact that you went through all this and came back out alive and fall asleep in a warm bed at night, that's a story.
So before, you said you grew up in Washington,
Yes.
in the foster. Before you got into foster care, where were you?
I was with my dad. We lived in a little town called Centralia, Washington, little logging town. There's not many minorities present,
Right.
if any at all. Yeah, it was quite a...
Do you want to talk about what led you into foster care?
I'll I'll just say physical abuse, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's basically the gist of it. He had finally crossed a line. My dad did, and it had to be addressed.
And so inevitably, it sent you to the system. I've seen it happen. I had a friend in 5th grade who I watched this shit happen, and I watched him change guardians multiple times. It's not a fun situation to be in. And so, but that's the thing is I can't wait to get into your stories because you're so crazy, and I want people to understand that from the outside you are, but the stories behind them is meaningful. We see you so we met Bo at our old restaurant that we all worked at.
Right.
Yeah.
And from the outside, dude, I think Bo, you seem like a fucking lunatic. You seem like a crazy person because you're so outwardly expressive. You know how to express how you feel. You know what you're gonna say. There's not much stuttering whenever you talk. It's a very confident look at you right now, dude. I mean, you made yourself comfortable in this situation, and that's something that I fucking need to take away in life is because it's a certain point of not giving a fuck, but knowing your boundaries.
Right.
And sometimes you cross them. I just want people to know that no matter what anybody has said or will say, because I'm sure people from work will probably watch this that judge Bo on a surface level. I've heard a lot more stories about this guy, and I think if you guys listen further on, you guys won't laugh at the way he looks or acts or whatever, and you guys will kind of understand why he acts a certain way. I
kind of realized too that there's a method to the madness. You do have this craziness, but it seems like every time they're like, "Oh, Bo, why the fuck did this happen? Why did you get yourself in this predicament?" Oh, well, it started when the big guy started fucking with the little guy, and that's
usually
typically
how it goes.
every
Timber! Wow, we just lost a camera. Holy fuck! We're experiencing some difficulties here, gentlemen and ladies. We love all of you.
So, Bo, let's check on. I know you said you were in foster system.
Yes.
And what happened from there? I know that you've talked to me about juvie. Is that where you ended up in juvie? Is from the foster system?
Yes, I did. See, I ran away a lot. You'd end up in these homes that were just, nobody gave a shit about you.
They're just there for the money.
Right. They were paid to take care of you. They made it very clear of that. And, so my first ever conviction resulted in, so I had an 18-year-old foster brother, and I'm about 13. He's a linebacker at Mark Morris High School in Longview, Washington. Great big, 250-pound son of a bitch. And I won't use his name but he came in my room one day, and he was the biological son of these foster parents. And this asshole started wailing on me. And I stood up and looked on top of my dresser, and there lied an ink pen. And I stepped back, and I buried the ink pen right in his neck.
Jeez.
And he did. I promise you this. That's the last time he ever laid his hands on me. But the state of Washington felt that I had assaulted him violently by doing that, and that was not the case. That was certainly not the case. But like everybody else, they get a public defender, they get a joke, they get a laughing matter, and you're just another rubber stamp through the system. Oh, we got this case resolved 43 days. It's all a joke. It's all a scheme.
And that's what sucks, man, is because these systems are supposed to be here to help, and then you just have kids that fall through the crack and then fall into the same cycle.
Well, that brings us to something I would love to address on this podcast today. I can.
Of course. You can address whatever you want.
So one of the things I've been working on heavily, and I was a former resident of this facility, Green Hill School in Chehalis, Washington. Now I'm from Centralia, Washington, Centralia, Chehalis. They're called the Twin Cities. Not to be confused with Minneapolis and St. Paul. They're too big for us. So anyways, this is Washington State's maximum security state juvenile prison. I did 9 months in 2011. I won't say how old I was. But I was there as a kid. Back last August, the Joint Narcotics Enforcement Team executes a search warrant on the State Juvenile Detention Center. The local police departments do, and they recover over 1,100 fentanyl pills. Kids in there overdosing left and right. Kids requiring multiple doses of Narcan to bring back. Staff members have been arrested. Lawsuits have been filed. People have been indicted. But, these things still continue to happen week after week after week. No one in charge and responsible for this actually goes to jail, which is what's just absolutely disgusting. Here is a facility that is supposed to be rehabilitating troubled youth and keeping them out of the prison system. And this is the last stop before the prison system. And instead of getting rehabilitation and the help they need, they're being given a state-sponsored fentanyl addiction. And I think that is just insane.
We're giving Bo a voice here, man.
We are.
Holy shit.
I don't know where to follow up on that one, but I'm sorry.
I know. See, there's a lot more. See, this is just the side that I'm not in on, is politics. But I think that's why we mesh so well.
Right.
Is because, man, we are fucking opposites, but we have so much. I feel like we have a lot in common.
Opposites attract, brother.
Opposites do attract, man. From Washington, you moved to Kansas eventually.
Yes. So there's another chapter in Washington we skip often.
Okay, so let's go to that chapter.
So I was when I aged out of the system at 18, I sort of just stayed in Lewis County, Washington. Just sort of lingered about, went wherever the wind really took me. And I ended up hanging out with a guy, and this is where I officially got into politics, I would say. I would say I was destined for it, but this is where the door finally opened and I walked. We had a guy in my hometown running for sheriff. His name was Brian Green, and he had never been in law enforcement before. He was a former Navy guy, a great individual, just an amazing human being. And he was running against the identical twin brother that was already seated in the county next door, Thurston County. So we were running against Sheriff John Snoz's twin brother, who is the current sheriff of Lewis County, Washington now, Rob Snoza. And nobody really wanted to get involved in Brian's campaign or his politics, except me because, well, why not? It was a different flavor than what we were used to. And for 9 months, I did everything in my power, humanly possible, to irritate and aggravate the establishment there because they just deserved it.
It kind of seems like that's your specialty.
Yes.
Yes. It's not like. And don't take this the wrong way. It's not like you doing huge things. It's just you doing these small, persistent things that matter that just annoy the fuck out of them.
Yes.
And that's one thing I've learned is you are very petty. It comes from a part of humor. Hold on, let me wait for this truck to go by. A part of humor goes into it whenever you take these actions. Because you'll tell me these stories and you'll laugh and whatever, and it is pretty fucking funny.
It is.
He's like there's some days he's like, yeah, well, I'm off next Thursday, so I'm going to go fuck with the prime minister. Or, whatever the fuck you say.
We're going to head down to Columbia and protest.
And then I'll see a fucking picture of him with the Australian prime minister or some shit like that.
Yeah, and we're like, that's Bo. I mean.
What led to Kansas?
So we lose the election. We actually ended up suing the Lewis County Sheriff's Office and the local newspaper in my town, where basically they had, violated the Public Records Act and gave a newspaper reporter pretty much free rein to write anything bad they wanted to about us. In exchange for a recommendation to be a police officer, they hid the records of that recommendation. We proved it in court, and, of course, whether or not they cheated us out of an election didn't matter. They just paid us for the records violations, and that was that. But anyways, so Kansas. So I move out to Kansas. My mom lived in a little town 22 miles south of there called Nowata, Oklahoma. And for any of you who have ever been to Nowata, Oklahoma, or heard of it, don't blink. Half the town's boarded up. There's really nothing there. I didn't want to live there. And there was another town a little bit further up the highway, 169, called Coffeyville, Kansas. It's on the Kansas-Oklahoma border, about an hour north of Tulsa. And so I showed up into this town, and I started at the college there. I actually graduated from high school there at 23 years old. So I actually didn't graduate high school until I was 23, which is, kind of odd about me.
I did not know about that. Hey, man, if I graduated right now, I could beat you.
Really?
Yeah.
You should graduate. It's worth it.
Yeah, you think so?
Absolutely.
What do you think about the school system? Do you think? Here, watch that whenever you touch this. It'll bring feedback and stuff.
I think that the school system it needs a lot of work like everything else. it's not perfect. There's no, individualized, per kid curriculum. There's one curriculum and one teacher and 35 to 70 kids, and by God, we are expected to just go along with that. And I don't think that's how you should educate people. I think people learn differently. Some people might be visual learners. Some people might be audio learners. Some people might be hands-on learners. Some people might be drinking a gallon water jug next to you like they're stuck in the Mojave Desert, TJ learners. And, yeah. There's my 2 cents on the education system. I do think that we should have free college in this country. I think that we should never charge money to become smarter and more capable. I think that's a scheme that we're currently dealing with, and it's a trap. I also believe in free health care. So, yeah.
Very proactive. Very proactive you are.
Yeah.
And that's not something if I look at you, Bo, whenever I first saw you, I thought you were just some racist white guy, which at surface level.
Republican.
Yeah. I thought he was just to be honest, I just thought he was like some racist white guy who loved Donald Trump.
Yeah.
But that's not true.
No, I'm a Democrat.
Racist white guy who loves Joe Biden. No, that's not true either.
That's not true.
Bo said he needed another cigarette.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got into Kansas.
So I show up. I join the. I graduate from Field Kenley Memorial High School, class of 2017. I was actually at the top of my program, believe it or not. Had a 3-point.
You were the top?
Yeah.
How many people were in that program?
18.
So you were 1 out of 18?
Yeah. I had a 3.6 GPA.
And you were number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were in a special. Did you guys ride the short bus to school or what?
No, we all walked. We were adults. We didn't get a bus.
Wheelchairs. Just kidding.
Yeah,
I'll probably cut that out. I don't know. I might not keep that in. So you went to class in a special ed class.
Yeah. I actually had an IEP growing up.
What does that mean?
Individualized Education Program.
Oh, yeah. IEP.
Yeah, and I was always in behavioral classes, I would say. I've always been one with behavioral problems, but who isn't? Everybody expects us to march the line and walk the line and No. Sometimes you got to step outside the rules of normality and make your own rules. And that is something I have always been very good at doing. That is something I've always been famous for doing. And when I don't like the rules, I've been known to just tear them up and make new ones.
I love it, dude. I think a country run by Bo would be nice, just an island. Why did you make that face? Why did you make that face? Oh my God! Whenever I edit that, I better zoom in on that fucking face and show it, dude. Oh my God! No, Bo, do you think you could run your own little island?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I know there's recent tragedies going on with islands around here, and that's not the type of island I'm talking about. Okay, let's get that across now. I'm talking about a fun one.
Can we talk about the incident on the boat?
What incident on what boat?
What incident? Bo, not both of your eyes are looking at me here. They don't know that. Oh my God, they don't know that. Bo?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? So how many eyes do you have?
I have one, everybody. So here you go.
Holy shit, he just brought it out.
So yeah, I have one eye, a prosthetic.
Oh God.
Yeah, we
look at me
TJ.
real quick. Look at me.
That scares
Here,
me.
TJ, I got my eye on you.
No, sir. Bo, do not touch me with your fucking eye, Bo.
Bo, can I touch it? Do you mind?
No.
Can I touch the top of it?
Yeah.
Touch the tip. Oh!
Oh my God.
Oh.
Dude, I got Bo eye juice on me. That's kind of cool. I didn't know if that was I didn't want to dirty your eye or anything. Does that hurt whenever you put it back in and take it out?
Sometimes.
A little bit?
Yep. I wish I had $1 for every time somebody asked me that. Does that hurt? Can you see out of it? I'd be so damn rich.
I know you can't fucking see out of it. I'm just asking physically.
I do get that question though.
Is it physically restraining? Does it are you do you have to get over a hump whenever you take it out, or is it just pain throughout the whole
It's
thing?
just pain throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
Just nerves.
Because if you have to get over a hump of pain, not really worth it. You know what I mean? But
Right.
if it's steady, I can deal with it.
We covered the eye. Do you mind if we ask what happened to your eye?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was born with cancer.
Okay.
Born with cancer.
Yeah. It
So
took
you
12
started off the gate. They're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. Were you expected to live?
No, actually, it took 12 trips from Spokane, Washington to Los Angeles to the LA Children's Hospital to save me.
So your life is just a whole fuck you to life, basically.
Yeah.
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 Holy fuck. How did that go down? From what you remember or understand.
So I was too young to really remember, but I know the stories, so I guess I can share them.
Yeah,
because,
of course. That's why you're here.
They seem true. So we lived in Spokane, Washington, and the sun would come up over South Hill every morning and shine in through our living room window. And I have blue eyes naturally. And my right eye, where's my prosthetic is now, would turn bright green. But the other eye would stay blue. And my dad thought, now what the hell is wrong with this kid?
Like
And
heterochromia or like your whole eye?
my whole eye, just the pupil would turn green.
Okay. That's
And it was just weird to my dad because it would turn like a lime green.
really.
Yeah, but only when the sun hit it. In normal light, I was okay. And my dad would take me to various doctors to see what was going on. And basically what happened was they'd hand me back, oh, he's healthy. Well, they finally took me to a specialist, and he dilated my eyes. You got to get this kid to L.A. now. He ain't going to live. And there was a very long tumor laying on my optic nerve, which was actually traveling back. The tumors were in actually both eyes. So they took 3 out of my left eye, too.
So you're lucky to even see. You're
Yeah.
lucky to have both eyes.
Yeah.
One eye right now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Fuck, man. Life was trying to take you out early, dude.
Yeah, it did. It tried. It didn't work.
So 12 trips.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it this way. If cancer can't take him, Kansas can't ban him from the city. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
So,
dude.
yeah, we still haven't made it to the Kansas
Yeah,
chapter
but this
yet.
is interesting. See, the fact that we haven't made to what I said in the intro, Kansas, getting banned from Kansas, that's like the big thing in my head. But you have all these other stories that are just untold or unknown
Yeah.
amongst most.
So I moved to this town called Coffeyville, Kansas. I graduate from Field Kinley High School, and I decided I wanted to go to college and pursue a legal career. My dream is actually to be a criminal defense attorney. I think I would be a damn good one.
My
And
fucking lawyer right here.
so I joined the college as a student and enlist and enroll and attend classes, and it came time to run for. There we go. Yeah, we're dead.
Jesus, my whole phone's fucking broke at that point, dude. There's no way.
The cocaine's still on the couch.
Oh,
Hey,
cocaine casting couch.
No casting.
we're not doing the cocaine or the porn on the couch.
Okay.
With the couch.
Wait. So we have to cancel our appointment for later or schedule.
Oh my God. Okay,
Yeah.
I have my camera set back up. I don't know what these goobers have been talking about, but
We'll move the escort appointment.
I'm gonna go over
Back
what
to my
what we
house,
have
my
talked about. What? So did you get? Are you living in Kansas right now,
No, I live in South Carolina.
brother?
He got your dumb ass too.
Okay. In the story that you were talking about
Oh, yeah.
already, are you currently?
He's in Coffeyville.
you're
Oh,
in
Coffeyville, Kansas.
All right, so we're in Coffeyville, Kansas.
So I moved there, and I began to donate to various causes and stuff, and get to know the community. And what struck me as absolutely insane was how many hungry kids walked around there. I mean, I'm not talking, 18 to 21. I'm talking actual kids, 13, 14, all the way down to that would just walk the streets hungry. And the schools would do nothing about it. The cities would do nothing about it. They didn't feel that they needed to.
Just a whole bad town overall.
Right,
like a maybe not a bad town, but an unfunded town.
Well, half the town had been wiped out from a flood just barely a decade earlier.
and then you guys moved after the flood had happened.
Yeah,
So it was a very
yeah.
cheap town.
Yeah. So my family had been there for had actually lived in Coffeyville for 4 generations. But by the time I got there, their property had been flooded, and by the time I arrived, it was nothing like they knew. I just wanted to experience it and meet the people because, of all the stories I'd heard throughout my life about Coffeyville, Kansas. And I ended up becoming friends with a lady who was a waitress who had had her kids taken away to the foster care system. And she came to me begging me to help her get them back. And she says, well, they were illegally taken from me. And I says, well, I get a lot of requests like this to get involved in things like this. A lot of times I won't because of how time-consuming it becomes.
Right.
It becomes, you can work 30 hours on something like this and still not even put a dent in it.
I bet the second you heard foster system, it just sparked something inside of you.
Yeah, I decided to go. I decided I couldn't tell the lady no. I at least wanted to see what she had going on. And I went back and looked at her paperwork, and I discovered that they were going up for adoption in 2 weeks. The judge was going to put them up for adoption.
Jesus Christ.
And now we're gonna get back into this specific judge later, but I sat down and went through the paperwork again, and I noticed that these were Native American children. And I spoke to the mother, and I said, well, have you registered them with the tribe? And she says, well, no, I haven't. I says, we need to do that right now. And we drove to El Reno, Oklahoma with their birth certificates and social security cards and registered them with the tribe, their correct tribe, And at that point, Kansas had violated the Indian Child Welfare Act by not alerting the tribe that they had those kids in their custody for 3 years. And the attorney general of that tribe got involved and basically told Montgomery County, look, either give us these children, they're our children, or we will take you to federal court. You will not put these kids up for adoption.
This is why Bo went to law school, ladies and gentlemen. This is why he was going to be a lawyer. This is our real-life Saul Goodman right here. I want you to understand that.
Basically, what ends up happening from there is, they eventually go back to the mother. In the midst of all this, there's a certain assistant district attorney, too. Her name was Daylene Walls. I took a picture of her out in front of the courthouse, in the parking lot, in front of God and everybody, forming a circle of witnesses, in this case, in the parking lot, in public, straight up manipulating their testimony in public. Yeah, there was no other way to go about there was nothing else you could call this. This was just straight up blatant, you know what, I'm in charge.
Wait, so what happened?
I caught the assistant district attorney manipulating the testimony of about 8 witnesses in the case.
Right, so you're talking about they're like surrounded in a circle
in
around
a circle, right out in front of the courthouse, right where you could hear them doing it.
Like in a conversation circle?
Yeah.
Okay.
You will testify to this and don't bring up that because then this will be... And I took a picture of this and posted it online. It got about, at the time, within about a 2-week time frame, it got over 1,500 shares. So that starts going on. And I decided,
So that took on your life like pretty...
Right. It took on a whole new form pretty quick.
That's like it's a new chapter that opened up just from that one thing.
Right.
And then so now how do you start that? How do you start this new opening?
So I started looking around and I discovered there was some city commission there was a position on the Juvenile Corrections Board for Montgomery County, Kansas coming up. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to apply for this and be part of this. Now, the other board members are the police chief, defense attorneys, prosecutors, basically everybody that makes their bread and butter prosecuting and keeping these kids in the court system all day long.
The whole system.
Yeah. So they vote to appoint me. What does that mean for the people at home and for the people in the white chairs? Basically, I approached city council and said, I want this board position. No one's applied for it. And
they appointed you, a.k.a. they didn't give it to you.
They appointed me to it. They voted me in.
Oh, appointed you means they voted you in.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you're welcome, everybody at home, for teaching you that.
Yeah. So 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from the mayor. We're going to reconsider our vote and take you off the board. Didn't even get to attend my first meeting. And I think they also knew that I was planning to slash their budget, and I was getting ready to cause a lot of disruption to that system there because they were making so much money off of kids just hand over fist. I mean, we're talking defense attorneys that haven't ever met with their, accused juvenile clients, billing $250 an hour for hours they didn't even work on these kids' cases. I mean, so I decided, you know what? I don't need their juvenile corrections board. I'm going to go ahead and run for city council and talk about, something straight out of the scene of deliverance. And people also got to realize the region I was in, too. Historically, this is not known for being a region with respect for people's rights. This is not known this town's claim to fame was that it killed the Dalton gang in the 1800s when they showed up there to rob 2 banks at the same time. So
they've just been holding that on there. That's their pride and joy.
They got a
they're
museum.
Still to this day, probably.
That's what brings their
I
tourism.
like how I've been I'm so invested in this, and I'm sure you are too. I'm like, it's like we're on Bo's podcast right now.
Yeah.
He's hosting right now, dude. He looks the coolest. He has the mic stand, the fucking mic set up. Me and TJ are holding these like pussies, dude.
So we had, so I go ahead and I file to run. At that point, the police department in Coffeyville, Kansas, who I had began to speak out against ever so badly, they began to get angrier and angrier and angrier. And basically what it was is the police chief of the town, Quinn Bromley. I hope, Quinn, if you're watching, you're still the most corrupt person that ever existed. But,
Hey, what was her name?
Quinn Bromley.
Quinn Bromley.
Yeah.
Shout out Quinn.
No bullshit. Quinn to my dick.
Wait, is it fuck you? We're saying fuck you to Quinn.
Fuck you, Quinn.
Fuck you, Quinn.
Yeah.
On my dead homies.
Yeah. Fuck you, Quinn.
All right.
So, anyways,
fuck you, Quinn.
can we leave that in the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
fuck
you.
Quinn.
Okay.
Fuck Quinn.
So,
I don't even know who Quinn is. I'm on your side, though.
so
man.
he gets
Come on.
mad at me.
Oh, it's
so
a he. I thought it was a
he.
she.
Oh, fuck.
I go
Fuck
down.
you, Quentin.
Quentin.
I go down to the
Pause.
Coffeyville.
I love how we looked at each other.
Oh. Sorry, Bo. So
I'll give you a little some of this. TJ, get in on some of this.
sometimes me and Tarris just look at each other. We know what's going on. We're
Yeah.
just locked in.
Yeah. There's just that connection, that bond. That.
We're like tip to tip.
Tip to
All
tip.
right. Let's get back to Kansas. We're getting too far off track here.
So,
Can't talk about tip to tip.
so I show up at a city commission meeting one night, and my plan was I was going to address the city commission, and I did. I scathed them like dogs, and I still don't have a regret for doing it. I wish I had said more. And I get to this commission meeting, and the police chief, who is my natural enemy, comes over and sits right down next to me. And he begins poking at me and stepping on my feet.
So he's like physically doing stuff to you.
He's just fucking with me. And so I left the meeting, and standing outside of the meeting was one of the city commissioners that was dead against me. He's the low-life undersheriff there, Chris Williams. Another I call him
Fuck
Crooked
Chris Williams.
Crooked Chris and Crooked Quinn, everybody.
Fuck Quinn. Fuck Chris.
They're
And
both
all
crooks.
of Coffeyville.
And they're
And
both
all of
crooks. And all of Coffeyville. They're
Fuck
both.
'em all.
They are crooks. So,
Dude, we're taking this couch to Coffeyville, Kansas.
We got
bro.
to.
so basically, what ends up happening? I saw this city commissioner, and I looked at him and said, "You know what? Fuck you, Chris Williams." And he goes, "What'd you say to me?" I says, "I didn't stutter." And he went in and got Quinn, and Quinn arrests me. And for disorderly conduct. Ooh, contempt of cop, Anyways, so long story short, they book me into the jail, and they start piling on charges from a Facebook conversation from almost 2 years earlier that had occurred. And they began to list my victims as fake Facebook accounts. They straight up put one of my victims down as Jane Doe Bobley in the court papers. I swear to God.
Wait, what was your victim of what?
Criminal threats that I threatened some people with
Okay.
reckless disregard.
Hey, I mean, the intro was threat giving.
Right.
Yeah.
That wasn't intro.
So what ends up happening? They appoint me a public defender by the name of Daniel Heath Lamson, and Daniel Heath Lamson had previous. Fuck Daniel, yeah, for
Damn,
sure.
Fuck Daniel, dude.
So Daniel Heath Lamson, or Heath Lamson as he loves to go by, he had been previously disbarred and lost his law license in Wichita some years earlier for putting his client's money up his nose.
Are these guys lawyers and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is all allegedly.
This
We're
is,
not.
No.
This is not allegedly. I can show the proof. I can show the proof. I can
Whoa,
show the
guys,
opinion from the Supreme
me and
Court.
TJ are just hearing a story here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
he was putting his client's money up his nose and just being a dirtbag.
Oh, like Coke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And he spent all his client's money, and they caught on to it. They kicked him out. Somehow they give him his law license back 5 years later. which made no sense at all to me because, yeah, whatever. But so, this guy's still a lawyer. He still, screws everybody over in Coffeyville. Huh?
To this day?
To this day, unfortunately. That same, so he comes down to the jail one day and says to me, I have pled guilty for you. I says, you've done what? I have pled guilty for you. I says, yeah, but you didn't ask me beforehand if I wanted to plead guilty or not. I have the right to have a trial, and I want a trial. Well, you're not going to get one. What do you mean I ain't going to get one? You're not getting one, Bo. You're not getting a trial. Well, I'm getting a trial. I promise you that. No, what you're going to do is you're going to go get in that vehicle over there with Sheriff Dirks, and he's going to drive you to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to the Greyhound station, and he's going to take you anywhere you want to go. He's going to buy you a ticket, and you're to never come back to our state again, ever.
So that's how you got banned?
Yeah, and I looked at him, and I says, you really think I'm going to go along with this? I don't care what you do. So I told him, no, I'm not signing this. Well, they end up letting me out of the jail, and Heath Lamson, my lawyer, calls me again, and he flat out tells me, look, here's the deal. Don't be here tomorrow when the sun comes up. Don't be here. Because there's going to be hell.
I remember reading that online.
And I said...
There is articles on this.
Yeah.
To be fair, of Bo Rupert getting kicked out of Kansas.
Yeah.
Getting banned from Kansas.
And unbanned.
So
but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. So I leave the state, of course, and what are you going to do?
Legally, you have to.
Right. What can you do at that point? Well, they put
Did you ever just get to the border and teeter in a little bit? You're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I got a picture of me actually as I left, flipping off the state of Kansas. Yeah. So what ends up happening? There was another fight I had been in prior to all this, which has to do with the right to record in public, and the right to record police and public officials.
Speaking about we got an ambulance coming on over here.
So I leave. Well, they put me on probation, and I'm supposed to be scheduled for probation meetings, but how in the hell do you make a probation meeting and make an appointment in a state you're not even allowed in? So they issue a warrant for my arrest. Well, I can't comply with
This is before Zoom came out, by the way. Imagine that. How would you take your court dates and stuff if you just were able to do it on a Zoom meeting on the computer? Like, you don't have to physically show up to court. Would you go?
Yeah, I have before on other things.
Would you rather go on a Zoom meeting or go physically? Do you think?
I'd rather go physically.
Yeah, I knew that answer.
Yeah,
already.
I'd rather go physically.
I knew that answer because whenever I walked
court
in,
is good.
We picked him up, by the way, and whenever I walked in, there's just a whole file of court papers on there. He goes, "Yep, that's a court case I'm working on." I'm going, "All right."
Yeah, I work on a lot of cases actually.
It's probably like a 10-pound thing of papers there.
It's a good little ream of paper for sure.
It's a ream.
So I get so back to the Kansas story.
Yeah, you got that face going.
So I go to the West Coast headquarters of the American Civil Liberties Union in San Francisco. I basically told the receptionist, look, I need help. I've been kicked out of the entire state of Kansas illegally. I've been dropped off here in your jurisdiction. I have to come to you so you can get a hold of Kansas, or I need the Kansas office to look at this. Well, little did I know, or did I suspect, but the federal government was currently investigating Montgomery County Sheriff Bobby Dirks, the elected sheriff, and he ended up being arrested while this was all going on. Something completely unrelated. He was suspended from office ultimately because he tried to keep... Basically, he tried to fire his own deputy for arresting his drunk driving girlfriend.
You're like what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're like a sponge that just gathered all this knowledge from these nominal actions.
Right.
Okay. Hey, dude, I like all these little stories.
So finally, I get a hold of Lauren Bonds, the legal director at the time of the ACLU, and tell her what's going on. And she says, send me this copy of this plea agreement because you cannot banish somebody. This is completely unconstitutional. This is bizarre. This is unheard of.
And how long is this process taking, by the way? Like, is this like a multiple year?
Yeah, this went on for about 3.5 years. Basically, what ends up happening, they file the ACLU gets a hold of this. Now, at the same time as this is going on, they are also working a simultaneous case of their own against Montgomery County and the district attorney there, Larry Markle. And what was discovered was that Larry Markle was collecting all the money from the state of Kansas to basically offer people that were charged with crimes diversion programs, alternative sentencing and stuff. And none of that money was being spent on that. He was basically just pocketing the money is what was discovered.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And so my case breaks, and we discover, so they go to the media with my case and say, wait, this guy's so out of whack and wrong. He just straight up ran a man right out of his town illegally. And at the time, Larry Markle, and he was quite the force to be reckoned with. Another, he just an absolute crook his whole career. He's no longer the district attorney there now, thank God. He's retired and hopefully won't be with us all too much longer. Hopefully.
Jesus.
God damn.
But
We can't. I don't know if we can do
I
that.
don't know if we can keep that one in.
okay.
I don't know.
He's getting old, so I think in his early 70s now. So anyways, I get out. We file a motion to correct an illegal sentence.
So right now you're in the process of getting unbanned.
Right. And the ACLU approaches the Kansas City Star editorial review board about this. With one of the members of the editorial review board, we will happily take you to the University of Kansas's law library, which is one of the biggest ones in the state, and you can pull down any law book on the shelf with relevance to criminal sentencing, and you cannot show us in one of those law books where any law in any of those books passed ever by a state legislator or court gives a district court judge, the public defender's office, and the district attorney's office the authority to just ban somebody from an entire state without question. They wrote basically a scathing editorial review saying, you guys can't do this. This is wrong. There's a system in place. You didn't follow it. Well, someone from the Associated Press had read the Kansas City Star's editorial review boards. All the major U.S. newspapers picked the story up. A few months later, Larry Markle, the crooked district attorney at the time, called my lawyer and says, you know what, we'll make you a deal.
So you guys may know about Bo already.
You
guys may have clicked on this because you were like, oh my God, Bo Rupert. I know him from fucking Coffeyville. I know him from Spokane, Washington. I know him from where he lives
Centralia.
now.
From Charleston.
Well,
Maybe there's some case law on you right now, Bo.
There is, actually. I am the last person, I should be, fingers crossed, in modern times to be banned from a United States territory.
Bo.
It is unconstitutional.
So I'm not trying to cut you off here. What is your favorite law ever? Your one favorite one, specific one.
Can I guess first? Can we guess first?
Sure.
I'd say freedom of speech.
Of course. I
Yes.
think, yeah. But you don't take a lot of shit, and I think a lot of people will perceive that as anger issues, which sometimes I think there had been situations where you maybe act out of ordinance, you know what I mean? I think the fact that you hold yourself to a standard where you won't accept people talking to you or treating you a certain way is something a lot of people could look up to.
We don't have to. And I had an incident very recently. I will not mention names for sake of the parties involved here, but I was working one night. And I was working really hard. And I was minding my own business. When out of nowhere came a tap on my left shoulder. And I turn around and I look. And there's this feller wearing latex gloves. All right? Latex gloves. Black latex gloves. And he looked at me and he says, I dropped some silverware in the trash can. I need you to go dig it out. And I says, well, you got gloves on. Go dig through your own fucking trash can. He walked off, and then he came back and asked me again if I had dug the silverware out of the trash, and I exploded.
It was a fork specifically, guys. It was a fork. Okay, so continue. I'm not even going to spoil the ending.
So I've done told this feller, pick your own fucking trash up. I'm not against helping out a feller now here once in a while, but you drop something in the fucking trash, don't pawn it off on me to go pick the son of a bitch up. Go pick your own goddamn mess up.
I want to put this in perspective for everybody, too. So this is, we are in food and bev, and if anybody works in food and bev, we kind of know what goes on there. Bunch of crazy shit. So we're in the heat of, like, a rush, probably.
Friday night rush.
It was Friday night, too.
Yeah, Friday night rush. So keep that in mind for anybody who's worked food and bev. You understand. My roommate, Josh. That's who did it. Josh.
We love you, Josh.
You guys, we love Josh.
We love Josh around here.
Shithead.
Yeah, I love Josh.
I love him too.
Whatever.
Okay.
And so Josh taps him on the shoulder, asks him to pick up a fork, and from Bo's perspective, that was not fun. And so what did you do after the second time he asked?
I told him, I says, you get in that goddamn trash can and dig your own fucking bullshit out, and don't you come back here and tell me I need to dig through a goddamn trash can, because I ain't digging through one for you. That ain't happening. And I walked away. Well, my manager at the time thought it was a great idea to write me up for that. And instead of calling out pure and blatant foolishness, as it was, she took that as her opportunity to...
Sorry.
They took that as their opportunity. Yeah, I'm not sure what her pronouns are, so... they... they decided to write me up for that, and I says, well, you know what? If you're going to write me up for that, I'll just fucking quit. And guess what? It's Friday night, and the other dishwasher you have is Josh, and he's not very good at the moment because he ain't very well trained. So have fun. You'll be here till 11. I went home.
No, he didn't just go home. So you're out of the back of the building right now in this situation, and then so what did you do? She told you, you said, I'm going to quit.
I says, I don't feel well. I've got this going on, and now I've got you coming back here screwing with me too.
Oh, I remember you telling me that you were saying that you just wanted to take a break. You were like, all right, just let me go home or whatever.
Yeah, I says, I'm going home for the night. I'll be back bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow.
And then she said,
oh, no, I'm not going to give you the night off too. I'm not asking. I'm telling you I'm going home. And if you can't live with that, you can't live with that. That's fine. But I'm going home. Well, if you do, that's your job. Well, it's my job then. Whatever.
Through the kitchen, into the main lobby, and then what did you do?
I ripped open my chef coat, which had about 3 layers of buttons on it, and just said, to hell with this. I'm
fucking
out.
went everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you slammed the coat and then walked out.
Left the coat on the floor right in the middle of the dining room in the middle of Friday night customers, and told them bon voyage.
Which I think...
Mind you, at this time, I was his manager, and I was stressed the fuck out.
Yeah, which I think...
But he was not the manager who decided it would be a great idea to write me up for this.
he was not part of that squad.
No, I was just...
Clearly, because he doesn't work there anymore.
Yeah.
I would argue that if you didn't do that with the jacket, you probably could have got your job back.
I didn't want it.
Yeah, we needed you, though, after we left.
They disrespected me so bad that over that.
That's my biggest thing with people is a respect thing.
That was what it was that here I was, I filled in every day they didn't, I know you said we weren't supposed to talk about work, but the door opened, so it's open now.
It's fine.
I went down there and filled in when there was nobody to do the job. I'd go in on my days off and help those people. And, working 12, sometimes overtime, doing whatever I could to make sure they had there were times, even in storms and stuff, I would volunteer to come down and help close so that everybody could get out of the building safely.
I've taken you home, and it's not a close walk.
No.
It's not a close walk to work. And that's something that, it put you as more than a coworker for me, because it was like, okay, I mean, he's got a job, and he's walking, how far is it? 3 miles, 2 miles?
I think it was 3.8 miles one direction. So it would end up being about 8 miles a day.
Walking 8 miles on his working days, working 12-hour shifts, I can imagine how the stress is going to end up being an outlash over a fork. As dumb as that sounds, but it's just the situations leading up to that. It's a lot of little things that lead up to that.
Right, and had that particular manager, when I had tried to speak with her, cordially, is it acceptable? Or will that be considered true?
I mean, you can say it. That's fine. I'd prefer them, but whatever.
That that decided to.
I don't care what pronouns you use. It doesn't matter. It's just the manager at this point.
That one decided to write me up. And instead of listening to my concerns and my well-being and my issues here, they were more interested in, oh, well, this has happened and that's happened and this and that and blah, 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 blah. But what was so strange about the ordeal is, they got another manager up there, 50 years old.
All right. So we're going to skip this topic here.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead, Bo. I've put together a couple of questions for you that I think would be an interesting topic to bring up with you. What is your thoughts on social media nowadays?
Yes, that's something I wanted to talk about.
I think it's a wonderful thing.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
Whoa, that is not the answer I expected.
Yeah.
I think it is a wonderful thing. We are able to share information at just the click of a finger.
Okay.
In seconds.
You know where that goes to? I think it's because I have that written down where I said earlier he has like an old spirit. And that's what it first was. It was like, oh my God, we have this technology where we can share news and whatever. But Bo, for me, as soon as technology came out, I was born into it almost. Like once it got readily available for everybody, I was around 10 years old. So I grew up with it for the past 12 years of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm so deeply involved in technology where I try to stray away from it because of how deep rooted I am.
It is
sucks.
rooted in your age group, I would say, more than.
Tarris and I were chatting about it on the way over here.
Yeah.
Just about how, like, nowadays it's like just the stupidest thing that you see on the internet affects your day-to-day opinions. And it literally, like, it almost changes your perspective on everything, which is a good thing, but it could also be a very bad thing at the same time.
Yeah, and that's what I think is like. I understand whenever people are like trying to ban TikTok and trying to ban whatever because there's an algorithm to it. Whenever there's an algorithm, that means that there's manipulation in some sort of way, whether it's like at the very beginning and it stays manipulated that whole way. I say manipulated as in changed in some sort of way, by the way, not a negative way.
I don't feel that social media necessarily surveils us. I do find it strange sometimes that. Great example for you. I have a really close friend. She's a paralegal. She wants to open up a food truck, okay? She tells me that it's look around for a food truck for sale or a food joint for sale for me. And I said, okay, yeah, I will. And then send me whatever you find. All right. So I searched for a food truck one time on Facebook and some food joints. Nearly every advertisement now coming to my phone is about a food truck or a food joint that somebody is manufacturing or selling somewhere. So they do listen to us. They do definitely observe some stuff. I don't think the surveillance is 24/7 though.
And I think,
sure hope not.
And most of what it is it's that when you sign up for these websites, you agree for them to sell off your information. So when you're logged into Facebook, it sells your information to like Google or to third-party sites.
Right.
And they traffic the information that you've searched for to wherever you visit on the web, which is fucking crazy.
But then like that information will be bought and then by TikTok. And then you'll get specific videos, and then that's like your whole personality at that point. Like, you're not gaining personality, you're being fed personality.
Yeah.
And that's what, and I don't want to seem like a crazy conspiracy theorist because, like, I want my point to be across.
Have you seen your hair?
And be valid. I know, exactly. Okay. I look a little wild, especially with the wind going on.
Well, I wanted to follow this question
up. You look like the young version of Einstein. I just wanted to tell
you.
Thank
you. I wanted to follow this question up with you, Bo. Do you believe that social media and just the internet nowadays has a big effect on like the amount of mental health problems that we're having in the world that there is now?
Absolutely. I would say with mental health problems, marital problems, relationship trust issues. I can't tell you how many relationships over the past 15 years since social media really has been prevalent, I have watched crash due to one partner or the other meeting someone on social media. And I do think there are people, especially retirees and stuff and, unemployed people and even people that are employed to some degree, I would say.
I mean, it's a tool,
They spend a lot of time on social media.
Yeah, and another thing is, too, is it's now a business platform.
Yeah.
It's more than just social media nowadays. It's
Yeah.
I mean
It's not just-
look at where we're at now. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah,
like,
on
great
social media.
example for you. There's this girl. One of her reels came up in my feed, if you will, not too long ago. And basically, you know, I'm just going to spell it out there. This is like the biggest OnlyFans whore in the world.
Right.
Right.
Right. Do you remember
What's her
the
name? What's her name?
Indiana MILF, I think, is what her. Yeah.
I think.
I've never heard of Indiana
never
Milf,
heard that,
so
but
she
shout
can't
out.
be the biggest OnlyFans
Well,
whore.
one of them.
Well,
Anyways.
I know the
And
one.
Karina
Amaranth.
Kampf. Karina Kampf.
I thought it was Amaranth.
Is it? I thought it was Karina Kampf. I don't really know OnlyFans
Me
like that
neither,
though.
dude.
I say I do,
this
but I
girl
don't.
will do these Facebook reels, you know, and
Okay, so Bo, I want you to realize. So on my part of the internet, Facebook is one of the worst social medias. You guys have the worst videos on Facebook, by the way.
Can I roll that back too?
Sure.
Because I feel like there's definitely a progression between Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, right?
Oh yeah.
Facebook, family, friends only.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instagram, family, friends, people you went to school with, people you meet outside. TikTok, anybody that fucking finds you.
Yeah.
And then that funnels over to Instagram. And I just think, me personally, I think I enjoy Facebook because I feel like it's a more personal
Yeah.
social media.
We talked about that last episode. Like you're very in tune with your family and friends and stuff like that.
But it's not even that. I just feel like Facebook is just more personal than like
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok, because Instagram, I mean, you know, you got your followers, but they've started doing this shit now where they just recommend you stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like my whole recommended page on Instagram is fucking cat memes.
Yeah.
Pookie
I don't-
wookie.
yeah,
like
I don't. Okay.
they're cute. They're cute. I
Maybe
send
that's-
them to you.
Maybe
I send them
that's
to
his
you.
fault. I don't know. That's his
Maybe
fault.
it's because I send them to you every time I see them.
But the thing is, though, is you shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to fight for to go see my fucking family and friends, whatever. We've brought it too far. We've brought social media to a point to where it's like it's a tool for everybody, and it's a valuable tool for most. It's
And
a
that
voice.
it is.
It's a voice for a lot of people that I think is good. Freedom of speech is really good on that. But I think a lot of stuff that is voiced that should not be as like a lot of the fucking memes and trends that go
But
on.
I mean, the same thing can be said about running into people on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
I can remember back in high school when Facebook was at its prime, okay, and it was okay, I guess, to some degree. But then there would be girls that would go on there in high school. Oh, I just fucked 3 guys today. Why would you post that?
See, I never experienced.
Why would you
anything like
post that?
Yeah. Whenever Facebook came out, I was. I'm not gonna say a specific age here, but I was young.
I remember. This has nothing to do with Facebook, but
That's already so stupid.
it does
dude.
have something to do. It's Facebook. It's the first time I ever got banned from Facebook. I posted. It was one of
Those
those.
of you guys getting banned, man.
It
How
was-
many times have you been banned from Facebook?
Just once.
Just once? Okay,
And-
good. I
and
got
It's
so-
not the
you.
only website he's been banned from.
How about
though.
you?
What other website?
I've
have I
never been banned from Facebook.
What
Okay.
What other website have I been banned
I
from?
don't think I can legally say it on here.
Black People Meet.
Yeah, guys, for some reason, Bo's Black People Meet account got banned.
But
That is the craziest laugh. What is that? What
Oh.
does that mean? Is that your cock size?
That's big black cock right
Okay.
there. All right? Big
What were you
black
saying?
cock.
Oh my God. Oh, my first ban on Facebook. It wasn't even anything wrong. There was a meme. It was like, "Show me your boobs," like whatever.
Right.
I posted a video where I'm laying sideways. It goes from like here up,
Oh,
and you've seen the video. You've definitely seen the video.
right.
And
Oh, I remember this, I think.
it got taken down, and I was like, "That's not right." It got put back up, got taken down again, and then I challenged it again and went back up. And then it got taken back down, and since it got striked a third time, I got put in Facebook jail for 7 days. And then on the 9th day, they appealed my request.
And then
They appealed the ban on the 9th day.
After you were supposed to only be
Right.
banned for 7.
Because they were like, it was like 2 days after my ban was up, I got a notification. Sorry, our algorithm is wrong. Your ban is not lifted. I'm like, she was lifted 2 days ago.
Yeah.
TJ,
Yes, Bo.
that green truck right there. Let's take a look at it. I want to talk about the green truck.
I think they're looking at us right now, Bo.
Yeah, I do too. How we doing?
How's it
We
going?
love you, man. How we doing?
Hey, guys.
And
What's wrong with the green truck?
What's up with
you know,
it?
it's a great color.
If you're gonna say something about the green truck, Mexicans, green cards, don't even start, Bo.
Well,
Look at him. I know where he's going already.
Is there something you want to tell us?
Uh,
Are you here legally, TJ?
yeah,
You
Jesus Christ.
I'm here legally,
Bo.
brother.
are? Okay. Am I?
Bo, on the way here, you're talking about getting banned from Facebook, but on the way here, Bo goes, hey, let's stop by a gas station, but not the Circle K near me. I'm banned from there.
Oh, shit.
How the fuck did you get banned from a gas station,
All
dude?
right, let me tell you, sons of bitches, what happened here.
Okay.
So,
I'm excited.
it's right. I was actually working with you guys when this happened. So it's right before the holidays, right? I mean, it's the day before fucking Thanksgiving.
Right.
And I go down to Harris Teeter, and they've got a Starbucks coffee in there. They've ran out of regular cups, and they want to charge me $12 for two 4-ounce cups of coffee that one is supposed to be in. And I says, you know what? I ain't got time to fucking play games like this. This is bullshit. And I said, well, fuck it. I'll just go to Circle K. And I was driving my friend's Suburban at the time, and it's got a 42-gallon tank in it. Very spendy son of a bitch to fill up, let me tell you. So I went in there, and I think I gave $140 cash, and I only put in $112 because it finally filled up.
Right.
And
So you went back in to go get the rest of your money?
which is $32.
No.
Not
That's
quite.
20.
No, it'd be 22.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So $22.
Wait,
And-
you put 118 in or 112?
112.
Okay, so it'd be $28.
So $28. So that's a significant amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, we wouldn't get that. I
And-
don't care if it was 2 cents. I'd fucking walk back. No.
So I'm a good
I'm not
man.
lying.
Yeah, you would. Don't lie.
No.
Hey.
Don't be scared. So I walk back in and I explain to the woman at the counter, I need my change. So this woman, she says, well, I'm not going to give it to you. As the fuck you mean you ain't going to give it to me? Because I ain't going to give it to you. As later, you're going to give me my fucking change back. We're going to have a fucking problem here. You understand me? As I ain't no punk. As give me my fucking change before we have a serious fucking problem. Well, what are you going to do about it? I says, let me tell you something, you four-eyed fucking bitch. All right? Let me tell you
said
something.
that to her, dude?
I says, I'll grab you by the fucking hair and just bang your fucking head off of that counter about 8 fucking times. Don't fuck with me. Give me my fucking money before I put you in the hospital. And called the police.
Oh,
I wonder why.
So, Bo, do you think that you deserve to get banned from
No.
that? Okay.
No.
Oh my
It ain't
God.
my fault. It is
Oh
not.
my God.
Okay, it is not my fault that she cannot count. If she can't count, then I don't know. Denver! Then she needs to go get thicker glasses, okay? That's the issue. If her glasses are that thick, or they ain't thick enough, and they're pretty damn thick, she needs to get thicker glasses because obviously somehow she lost track of $28 fucking dollars somehow. And I don't know about y'all, but I ain't no rich motherfucker. And let me tell you something, $28 is a lot of fucking money, and by God, I'll go to jail over $28 fucking dollars, let me tell you.
I couldn't say that I would. There's a certain amount of money that I would cross the line for, but
$40?
$28 is not one of them.
40?
So, Bo, we spent a lot of time today talking about you.
40, 50?
I want to give you a chance to ask me and Tarris 2 questions each.
1 question each?
2 questions each.
2 questions each?
Yes, sir.
What is, this is one for both of you. What is in the horizons after food and bev? Now
After
that
45?
Food and bev. The restaurant industry.
You think you're going to own a restaurant after 45? Or you're going to work in a restaurant
I'll
after
ask the
45?
question again.
Wait, yeah.
The question is, what is in your guys' horizons and plans after the food and bev industry? I think our food and bev chapter might be about over. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't speak for all of us.
After
but I
the
think
food
we're
and bev,
done.
like, so you're talking about like after work and food and bev, where do we think we're going to go?
Yeah.
TJ, you go and think, you know your answer already because you're like here.
This is me, man. Food and bev is me. It's just something that I'm not going to be a part of, you know?
Right.
I love it, and I hate that I love it, but I do, you know?
Because food and bev is something that's always stressful, dude.
It is, but there's a certain satisfaction
Guys,
you
I
get
get to move over here.
when
dude.
everything goes right and when everything just is exactly how you want it. There's a certain satisfaction that just any other job won't fulfill, that food and bev can't.
Would you guys have me back on your podcast after
Oh,
this?
dude.
Oh yeah.
But what I was going to say, because I know we're going to end soon, that I'm sure there's so many stories that we missed from you and so much more stuff that you probably wanted to talk about that I should have asked you beforehand. But I'm just glad you were vulnerable enough and confident enough to share the stories that you did.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That was fucking, your life is impressive, dude.
It is.
And
It's
you
a roller coaster
are-
ride.
It seems like you've always been the little guy in these situations, and you try to make the most out of the situations. Granted, sometimes you take it a little bit too far,
Right.
Right?
but it always seems like there's some sort of method behind why you're doing it, whether it is you take it too far or not. It's not just you're going out of your way to harass these people just because. It's because you stand by your principle, and that is not something you see very much nowadays.
And you got to also realize when you stand up to a lot of these public officials, they're used to just because they speak, people listen.
But it's not even just public officials now. It's just like
Everybody has a
Yeah,
voice, they think.
but
You know
like-
what I mean?
But everybody's voice is swayed so easily now because of the information you can gather online,
Yeah.
which is crazy because like it could be something not even political, and something you see online could just sway
mean,
your opinion.
That's
instantly.
one thing right now. And so we have, I know you don't know much about gaming and whatever and like that sort of space, but we have like a bunch of these people who are very into gaming and they're very young, younger than me and TJ, and have very young ideologies. And you have all these other kids watching them. You have like 120,000 people at one time
Right.
watching them. And they're like, now they're mimicking how these two act online, you know? And
What's
so it's
up,
like,
brother?
what's going on, brother?
Hi,
Tuesday.
brother.
And although they are funny, and I think that like they deserve a platform, I think they're pretty funny guys. It's just you have these this whole group of just
It kind of shows just
kids
how
acting
far
like them, dude.
just how far people are willing to go to stay relevant.
And that's not a shout to like Jinxie or Sketch. That's
No,
to the people
no,
who watch
that's just
them.
people in general. Yeah.
To try to like, and I watched the Jinxie and Sketch. They're fucking like, I know. What's up, brother? What's going on? Bad name.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
But I think it's funny. I like them, but it's just like,
I don't watch the streams, bro, but the clips are fucking hilarious.
oh, dude, the clips are funny, but
And that's the best thing right now is short form content. It's bad, but it's good. You know.
oh my god,
Can we
it's-
talk about TJ's feet?
Yeah, guy. All right, so I do have a free cam on this. TJ has his fucking feet out, man.
Yeah, like
Come on,
TJ,
this whole podcast.
No,
Dude,
let's
I was
let's talk
comfortable.
about those.
We've been
Look at them
smelling
sons
his
of
feet.
Bo,
bitches.
you still got
Oh,
two.
guys.
You still got one more question for each of us.
Right?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you do. I'll show the podcast in a second.
Who are we voting for this year, guys?
Oh my fucking
fucking
god! All right,
God.
guys, this has been the
This has been Switching Up Podcast, episode 5. Appreciate y'all coming by. Remember, 100 likes and I get a haircut just like
100
Bo.
likes.
100 likes.
Bo, show him
Guys,
the haircut
100
one more
likes
time.
And TJ's getting a haircut with Bo.
Shut the fuck up, Tarris.
All right, man.
Bo, wrapping up, you've always been there for the little guy.
Yeah.
You've always been there and you've believed in yourself. What is one message you could give the youth of today?
The youth of today, don't give up. Don't give up. When they tell you it is not possible, and trust me, many, many will, don't give up. Put your head down and fight, fight, fight.
This has been the Switchin' It Up Podcast. You guys have a great day. Oh, that was solid, dude.